Nice to meet another member of the SemiAnalysis clan. What do you do at SemiAnalysis?
Hi, Nathan. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Kimbo. I work at SemiAnalysis doing mostly benchmarking and analysis.
For language models?
I do mostly around systems, but yeah, definitely related to language models. For example, I was part of the team that worked on Inference Max, which is an LLM inference benchmark.
Yeah, okay. Some background. I'm always curious, like the hiring pipeline into SemiAnalysis. Like, what did you do before, and how'd you end up at SemiAnalysis? Because it's growing rapidly.
Yeah, I can't say for all my other colleagues, but for me personally, well, before joining SemiAnalysis, I was studying for my master's. And then I met Dylan at the MLSys conference. And we chatted, and I told him I was looking for a job. And then I think a couple months later, I joined SemiAnalysis.
Seems simple enough. Okay, so I know what Inference Max is. I see it as essentially like throughput measurements for various models on various compute systems, and then that can inform cost of ownership and things like this. I think there's a lot. It's a great website, and people should look at it. I think what is interesting for people is like you built it. What surprises you? Well, like what surprised you about the world? Because it takes a long time to build something like this, and you probably go in expecting something.
First of all, I'm surprised how well received it is. Like semi-analysis, people really care about semi-analysis opinions. And to me, LM inference benchmark has been, the benchmark itself is straightforward, but apparently people really like the information, or they care a lot about the information and found it very valuable. Like the extent surprised me. But yeah, we definitely do have some things unique to Inference Max. So yeah, again, I can kind of understand as well.
And like, where do you see it going in the future? Like, are you gonna, or like, what are you thinking about in Inference Max in 6 and 12 months out?
Oh yeah, yeah. So Inference Max, we have two major focuses. First of all, we want to support like state-of-the-art techniques. So specifically, we're trying to get multi-node benchmarks. So specifically the disaggregated serving techniques. We want to benchmark that because we think that's an important technique and not many people are able to do it, and let alone accurate and extensive benchmarking. And the second thing is expanding on the access of hardware, so supporting more hardware.
A bit of a curveball question, but how do you think tool use in these long reasoning models changes inference workloads? Like, is it pretty easy for people to slot in, like, say, a model that does all of these search results, and there's some latency in tools? Is it like pretty much like you just allocate a cluster in the same way, or are there substantial changes as these models are using tons of tools at inference time?
Yeah, I would think tool calling definitely changes the system behavior, like it changes the workload itself. Specifically, I think it would incur a lot more KV cache hits. So it'll be the workload, the inference workload would look a lot more like a prefill workload. Well, actually involve a lot more. Yeah, it'll have looks more like a prefill where you have to load a lot more KV cache, and you're doing like a long context prefill. Unlike maybe traditionally or non-tool call workloads where you have long decodes where it's the KV cache increases steadily.
Why are tools hitting the KV cache more? Is it because the tool, like the actual tool itself, is repetitive, or what?
Yeah, I think it's more. It's so when you so before tool calling, without tool calling, you would do a decode, and then you have new KV cache. You load it as a KV cache, and then do it iteratively. But for tool calling, I think it'll become like you call a tool, you generate a bunch of tokens that are created by the tool, so that you'll do like a long context, kind of like a prefill kind of workload, and then those will become like a big chunk of KV cache, and then put them back, do like a next step. But if you call another time, another tool, the tool will again create like a decent amount of tokens, unlike typical decode.
I would have guessed that the tokens and tools are masked. I guess, but I guess it like from the model side, if you're doing inference, it doesn't matter because it's still in the context, and you need to get those probabilities. Is essentially what you're saying. You have a bunch of tokens, and you need to fill in the probabilities, which is interesting. That's cool. I'm glad that you told me. That's because I haven't thought about this.
Yeah, we have been. I think our team has been have some vigorous debate on just how to model or like what would be like a representative workload, like the input output token length. So yeah, tool use is definitely on our mind.
Yeah. Have you thought about like diffusion language models and serving them at all, or are they a bit too niche to be on the conversation?
Personally, I find diffusion language models very interesting, but I think given the scope of Inference Max, we have a lot of things to target.
You have a
I
clear
think
to-do list.
Yeah, we need to prioritize very heavily on things that people care about, yeah, or like the most, as many people care about as possible.
Do you have anything you want to plug or anything you're excited about at NeurIPS?
Well, okay, SemiAnalysis model ship. Our event, it's yeah, interconnects and trying to talk and SemiAnalysis. I did it. I'm sure it'll be a very great event. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you around.